Welcome to the Eversio Experience Podcast. I'm Brandi Garden, the co-founder here at Eversio Wellness, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Desiree Caruso, naturopathic physician.
Mushrooms are symbols of interconnectedness, and we're so excited to connect you with the health, wellness, and wisdom that they have brought us on our journey to this moment. We believe mushrooms are critical to the maintenance of our physical well-being and our collective mental health.
Yes, our ancestors had deep cultural connections to mushrooms, but today they remain understudied, undervalued, and often misunderstood by much of modern society. And we are here to change that. Eversio means change, and it's our mission to change lives through fungi.
There's a mushroom for every moment.
And we're so glad that you're here to share this moment with us. And now, let's dive into the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Eversio Experience Podcast. I'm Brandi Garden, and we are so grateful that you're here.
So grateful. I'm Dr. Desiree Caruso, Naturopathic Doctor, and today we are exploring something powerful, beautifully simple, and scientifically fascinating. Gratitude.
Gratitude might seem like a soft, gentle emotion, but it does something. It does something inside the brain and the body that is anything but soft. It is profound, it is measurable, and honestly, it's life-altering for those who give it as well as those who receive it. So that's why we wanted to remind you about the power of gratitude right now at the start of a new year, when you can consider adding it as an easy new habit that can make your life instantly better. And I'm going to start with a little story, if you don't mind, Dr. Des, because I just had an experience where I think I really understood the difference between authentic gratitude and just being thankful. And I think we all understand thankful. When someone opens the door for you, you're thankful for that. That's not authentic gratitude. And I felt the difference in a yoga class. So 2 nights ago, I was at yoga. I've been going to the same yoga studio for many, many years, but there's a brand new instructor. Was curious, and the class was a little different. And as we laid down and closed our eyes at the very beginning, and we were just doing a little bit of breath work, the teacher put her hands on my shoulders, and a few tears dripped out of my eyes, and it was gratitude. And I think no yoga instructor has put their hands on me since COVID because they weren't allowed. But that was my experience in my introduction to yoga, and I always felt that little bit of connection, someone just giving your shoulders that extra press, your hips that extra release. I was always so grateful for that because you can't give that to yourself. And I had forgotten how wonderful it was. So that was the beginning of the class. I felt so different in my body after that unexpected moment of kindness and true compassion and that sense of touch that we all need. It made the class very different for me. I actually left the class, got in my car, and sent a message to the manager of the business expressing my true authentic gratitude for this new teacher they'd hired who I really felt needed to hear how grateful I was for that moment. And now we're recording this. So I wanted to just share before we begin that this isn't about being fluffy. Gratitude does really feel like something in our body, and it can really change us in a moment of need.
It really can, and it shifts us into thinking about things that we love or that make us feel good, that heart-brain coherence, and doing it in the morning. And we'll get into all of that. But it's just a great way to set up your day or set you up at the beginning of a class. So it's a beautiful moment for yourself and others. But let's start with the neuroscience.
Yes.
Because when we experience genuine gratitude, it's not forced positivity, but it's this real and felt sense. The brain activates several key regions. So there's first the medial prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for emotional regulation and decision-making. There's the anterior cingulate cortex, which is involved in empathy and social connection. And then there's the ventral tegmental area, which is part of the dopamine reward pathway. And there was this landmark 2015 study out of the University of California, Berkeley, where researchers found that the people who practiced gratitude for even just 3 weeks had lasting changes in these brain regions months later.
That's so amazing. No pharmaceuticals required. What struck me in that study was that even people who didn't consistently feel the gratitude at first still showed neurological shifts later on. So it's like the brain says, I will catch up if you keep trying.
Exactly. Because gratitude builds new neural pathways. It's the foundation of neuroplasticity, which means that we can literally train our brains towards resilience and calm.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay, let's talk about the nervous system because I think people feel this immediately when they start practicing.
Right. So gratitude activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part that tells the body you're safe, you can digest, you can rest. The parasympathetic nervous system is not the stress response, it's the rest and digest, the calm. So when we feel appreciation, the vagus nerve, which is the long nerve that's running from the brain through to the heart, lungs, and the gut, it responds by slowing the heart rate, deepening the breath, and reducing inflammation markers like CRP. There's even this 2021 study in the journal Brain, Behavior and Immunity showing that regular gratitude practices are associated with lower inflammatory biomarkers and improved immune function.
That makes sense because we know that when the parasympathetic system is activated, cortisol drops, right?
Yeah.
And the amygdala calms down and the prefrontal cortex gets back online so that you can actually think clearly again.
Exactly. Gratitude helps break the chronic stress loop.
Yes. Yes. There was also that study on heart patients. Do you remember the one where they asked people who were recovering from heart attacks to keep gratitude journals?
Yeah. So it was this 2016 study from UC San Diego. So participants also wrote down things that they were grateful for just once a day for 8 weeks, and they showed better heart rate variability, which is a measure of resilience and nervous system health. And they also had reduced biomarkers of inflammation.
Yes. So if you wear the Oura ring like Dr. Des and I do, and you want your HRV up, and you've been trying everything, maybe gratitude is the missing link. And we're not just talking about feeling lighter emotionally. We're talking about real, measurable physiological changes, not just in the heart, but in the immune system and in the brain too.
Totally. So before we get into any practices, I do want to clarify something. Gratitude is not pretending that everything is okay.
Thank you for saying that. It's not bypassing everyone. It is not silencing your pain.
No, it's simply allowing your nervous system to recognize what is supportive. Even if the rest of your life feels totally chaotic, it's this quiet recalibration.
Yeah, and there are easy ways to sprinkle gratitude throughout your day. So let's talk about the fun stuff. How can people fit gratitude into an average busy day? Because we're not talking about adding an hour-long ritual here. Nobody needs more work on their plate.
No, not at all. These are micro practices that can really fit into everyday life. So a first example is every time you move from one task to another, like getting into your car, walking into your meeting, or switching rooms, name one thing you appreciate. This builds neurological checkpoints of calm. If you go to the washroom at work and you have to go up a flight of stairs or go down the hallway, then you can think of something that you appreciate.
Love that. Okay, another one is, I call it the 10-second morning reset. So before you reach for your phone, before you do whatever your morning thing is, just place your hand on your heart and think of something you're authentically grateful for. So I'm not talking about what we normally do, which is the difference between thankful and grateful, right? I'm thankful for my health. It's not specific enough. I'm talking about put your hand on your heart so that it's something that for 10 full seconds, you really can get into the feeling of gratitude for something meaningful. And then that's it. This small practice has been shown to shift morning cortisol patterns in many studies.
That's a great one. Okay, number 3 is appreciation while you eat. Choose one moment during a meal to appreciate a flavor, a texture, or the journey that food took to get to your plate, or just the preparation for it.
Yeah.
This mindful gratitude enhances digestion because it's activating the parasympathetic nervous system, this mode, which is rest and digest.
I love it. And I will add to that, if somebody has made that meal for you, because I have a precious teenage daughter who has been making my dinners for me for a couple of months now, and just when I enter the room and a meal has been made, the appreciation, the gratitude in my body, that feeling makes the act of eating it so elevated from what I experienced before. So anytime you can add gratitude to a meal, it's going to light up your life, I promise. Okay, what about gratitude on your commute? A time where people are not often feeling thankful. So whether you're driving or you're walking or you're biking or you're sitting on a bus, Try to pick something you can appreciate visually. So if you're stuck in your car and you're sitting in traffic, can you expand? Can you find a tree? Can you look at a beautiful building and appreciate the architecture? Can you look at the sky and really try to get and use that time when you have it to find gratitude for something that is outside of the current experience? And this trains the brain to scan for beauty instead of for threat, which is sometimes when we're in fight or flight, we go into this predicting a worst case scenario, scanning for problems state. And if you can train your brain to scan for the good, to scan for the beauty instead, it will change your state.
That is a great reminder. I think we all need to train our brain. Okay, number 5.
Train the brain.
Train the brain. Number 5, the gratitude text ritual. I love this one. I think this is something that I do a lot because I just love my people and I just want to send them a nice message. But send one message a day to someone telling them what you appreciate about them. Studies show that expressing gratitude boosts serotonin for both people. So not only are you feeling good because you're saying something about how you appreciate them, but the other person receiving that on the other end feels good too.
Win-win. I'm often on the receiving end of Dr. Desiree's gratitude text, and I can tell you, I could feel connected to you no matter how far apart we are when you do that. So don't stop. I love it.
Okay.
Okay. What about an evening gratitude shift? So ask yourself, what surprised me today? What supported me today? What challenged me in a way that helped me grow, right? Sometimes when we're trying to change, we need the challenge. Right? Dr. Joe Dispenza, who I follow, always says, don't you know you need the challenge to change? If everything just stays great all of the time, you're going to stay the same. So this reframe of the entire day it just reframes the entire day in your brain. So you can go to sleep not thinking, that was a hard day. You can go to sleep thinking, that hard thing that happened really showed me how strong I am, or it really showed me who my true people are. And that reframe will change your chemistry before you go to sleep at night and make a real difference in your body.
That's a good one too. Okay, number 7, gratitude anchors. Choose an object that you use daily. So your water bottle, maybe your rings or your car keys. And every time you touch it, let it cue a quick moment of appreciation. And I'll share something that I used to do. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. And it was just changing my day. And this was when I was recovering from some physical injuries from my car accident. And I couldn't really work out very much, if at all, without feeling all of these, different symptoms. And I remember shifting my thinking to, okay, I'm down here, and I would look at my water bottle and think, oh, I get to exercise again. I'm excited, instead of thinking like, oh, I can't, I'm not very strong, or I can't do things. So just think of any object wherever it is. And maybe it's in a place where you associate something negative, right? I have to do this. Oh, maybe it's a lamp. You're like, I love this. I get to create and do fun things.
Yes. Oh, the reframe. I love it. I love those because they weave into the fabric of real life, right? They're not extra, they're integrated.
Yeah, and the accumulation of these micro moments creates macro change, right? Over time, gratitude, it reduces baseline stress, it improves sleep quality, it enhances emotional resilience, putting deposits in the bank, like you've said. It boosts dopamine and serotonin, strengthens relationships. It also lowers inflammation. And really what I love is that it increases self-trust and optimism.
Look at that. If they could put that on a pill bottle, who wouldn't buy that product? And you have it available to you all the time. So I think it changes the narrative inside your mind, right? Gratitude becomes the lens that you filter the world through, not because your life is perfect, but because your brain now knows how to find safety and beauty anywhere.
Totally. And it's this reorientation towards possibility.
And that is life-changing.
It's life-changing. So as we wrap up today's episode, we invite you, no matter where you are, you don't have to be in a certain location. You can be anywhere, wherever you are. Just pause. What's the one thing right now in this exact moment that you can feel grateful for?
Yeah. Let it land. Let it soften you. And notice how that tiny shift affects your breath, how it affects your shoulders, how it affects your heart. And as I sit in that feeling, I'm reminded of another little story. I was driving through a Starbucks drive-thru, and it's 2 years ago now, and I have told the story before. But I arrived at the drive-thru window, and the barista handed me my cup and said to me, the person ahead of you already paid for you. And that gratitude I felt in that moment. I remember the feeling in my body when those words were said to me and how grateful I felt for that person ahead. But that's not the best part of the story. I was so inspired and my body felt so changed instantly by the act. I said, well, then I'm paying for the person behind me. And she got a tear in her eye. And I'm going to get it in my eye as I say it. And she said, you are the 22nd person in a row that has paid for the person ahead or behind. So it had been going on for this barista had been witnessing humanity and the gratitude that each person felt and so inspired by it that they paid it forward. And I was so curious, if I didn't have to be somewhere, I would have sat in that parking lot to watch it happen because it was such a beautiful thing. A little thing that one person started, feeling grateful for whatever reason, saw someone behind them. Maybe it was a police officer, maybe it was some other person in service that they thought, I'm going to show my gratitude by paying. And it went on and on and on. And this is how it works in the real world. You can change the way someone is feeling so easily.
Yeah, we can have this change to impact so many other people. And we are so truly grateful for this community and for every listener who chooses healing and curiosity. And we would be so grateful if you could hit the subscribe button wherever you're hearing or watching this. And we also want to tell you about a little gratitude challenge that we're planning at Eversio HQ this month. So please join us starting January 6th. And we're going to do a gratitude challenge. It's going to be for consecutive 25 days, and you're going to fill out a bingo card, and you're going to have a challenge every single day where you're going to do it, and you're going to follow along, and I'm going to share in the stories, and we're going to have posts on our Instagram. You can follow along, and you can, fill out that bingo card, put a big check mark on it, and then at the end we are going to do a giveaway as our appreciation and our gratitude for the beautiful community that is you, the listener, because, we wouldn't be here sharing about mushroom wellness and how it's changed our lives without you.
Absolutely. So yes, I am excited. I'm excited to join your gratitude challenge, Dr. Des, and I'll be playing along too. So I'll try to make sure I'm posting in there what I'm doing each day, and it really does build a habit. So when we do it together as a community, it becomes fun to build that habit, and we all get to benefit from it. And for all of you listening out there, we want you to know that we are truly authentically grateful when you do things like subscribe to our channels or leave us a review. And a little inside secret at Eversio HQ, Lori has a chat for us in our teams that we use. So the whole group of us, we all are connected to a community love chat where each day Lori shares sometimes 2 or 3 reviews that have come in overnight that really are meaningful. And we're so grateful that someone took the time to not just say great product, but to really share their experience of how mushrooms are changing their life, how the products are making their life better. And please know that you are changing us when you share those things, because we really do feel the appreciation of the time you took to do it and the appreciation that you are choosing yourself and inviting mushroom wellness in to make your life better. So if this episode resonated, please don't wait. Share it with someone that you appreciate right now. And that can be your act of gratitude to start, is sharing it with them to show them you're grateful for them. And with that, we will see you next time on the Eversio Experience. Sending you love and gratitude, everyone.
Be well.
We hope that you learned something new here today. If anyone you know could benefit from what we shared in this episode, please share it with them. And if you're interested in adding mushrooms to your life, then you can use code PODCAST15 to save 15% on your entire order at EversioWellness.com.
If you haven't yet left us a rating and review, subscribed to this podcast, or followed our social media accounts listed in the show notes, we would so appreciate that. And if you're not sure where to start, you can take our Mushroom Wellness quiz. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with us. Until next time, be well.